What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Two Nerds, One Podcast show. I'm AJ Coppola. I got Justin Hayes over there.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Justin? We'll basically tell everybody what we're going to be doing and what they're going to be seeing from us in the near future.
Well, a couple days ago, I had an idea. I have a good friend, AJ, who runs a very nerdy podcast, and I'll give him a chance to tell you about that in a minute. I'm also trying to nerd out on the regular, so I figured why not do two nerds are better than one, so let's bring our heads together and hopefully we have some lively debates. I know that we have very different backgrounds from where we come from our nerddom, so I'm excited for what's going to happen. So
yeah, I'm very excited. As he said, I'm AJ Coppola from the Nerds Who Nerd Things podcast. You can check out new episodes from us every Thursday on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We just basically ran through all the animated Spider-Mans and the video games. So this is going to be a very fun day for me talking about all this stuff. I'm not quite sure if his list is going to match with my list. And before we go on any further, we're going to give you guys basically the rules. We both did 1 through 10, 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. This is only live action Spider-Man movies, and also with the 2 Spiderverse movies. So what we're going to be doing is, if my number 10 is different and higher on his list, we are punting to his number. That way we save time, get through it a little bit faster, and we really want to hear you guys in the comment sections, whether it's in the YouTube verse or wherever you find it. We want to hear from you guys what your list is. And with that being said, Justin, take it away, good saw.
All right, guys, I'm going to surprise everyone. Drum roll, please. The worst live action and Spider-Verse movie is Spider-Man 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's mine.
Dun.
That is 100% mine. And while I give it props for what they tried to do, I felt like it was way too crowded of a movie.
Ambitious, but misguided.
Yeah. You had too many villains that wanted too much screen time, and Spider-Man basically fighting them all.
Yeah.
Sandman, I liked his character. I like how they brought him back in a later movie, but too much of him, too much of Venom, and too much of oh God, what's his name?
New Goblin.
New Goblin. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they have all the different variants of the Goblin. This is, I don't know if this is worse than what we get in the Amazing series, but it's not good. Whatever it is, it's not good. So let me ask you, we don't have to harp on the shitty movies too long, but if you only pick one of those villains to be the big bad, which one is it? Which one do you keep? And do you completely nix their story in the movie and make it something unique, or did you?
I really liked Sandman because I felt Sandman.
So did I.
Like, he's doing everything for his daughter,
right?
And he just got the shaft and is trying to deal with it the best way he can. And unfortunately, that's being a bad guy.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I think that he had the most compelling arc, even the little bit that we did get of him. And I think Thomas Hayden Church is a pretty underrated character actor. So and I did like that he got a chance to come back and enhance the character a little bit. So 100% agree with you there. So, but I think we both agree Spider-Man 3, absolutely the weakest of the Raimi trilogy.
Yep.
And
we are correct on
Spider-Man
number
movie
10.
that I've seen. So,
we are correct on our number 10.
All right. Number 9, what you got, AJ?
Number 9, I have the Amazing Spider-Man Dose.
As do I. So we're 2 for 2. So go ahead and tell me why this is the shittiest of the new age Spider-Man.
Well, it's not really has to do with Andrew Garfield. I really actually enjoyed Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man. He's got the quippiness as a Spider-Man you would expect.
Is he too cool? Is he too good looking? Because I heard that all the time. Too cool, too, not believable is the geeky Peter Parker.
No, I don't know. I guess I can kind of see that. I really can, because Toby was wearing glasses and then Tom Holland is literally a teenager or looks like a teenager.
Right.
But really, I think they really fucked with Jamie Foxx's character Electro. I think that character needed to be a lot better
Yeah.
going into it. Like every time you hear lightning, oh, there's that dubstep again. There's that dubstep again.
Right.
It takes you out of the movie. And then, unfortunately, with Emma Stone,
Yeah.
but killed the best part of the movie.
I mean, you're not gonna get any arguments here. Yeah, that's a tough. Have you seen them? They slowed down that scene.
I don't want to. Nope.
It's
Nope.
actually it's harder to watch, man.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but it's sort of the same thing to a degree of what happened with the last movie we just talked about. Too many villains, because don't they have Rhino in there too, half-handedly, like
At the end, at the very
and
end.
a little bit at the beginning too, because he arrests him before he gets in the suit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I only
So-
remember him back in the,
Yeah.
the suit at the end with
See,
the with the manhole cover.
But that's how unforgettable the chase scene is. Because you forget that he's even in that part. So you got a half-assed Rhino. You waste Paul Giamatti. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, how do you do that? But it's just
Jungle Cruise did it too.
Yeah. It's happened. It's happened. Anyway, but you just too many villains. None of them compelling, and like you said, you ruin a badass character like Electro, and they did it better in No Way Home. So they showed you that you could do it.
So what do you got for number 7 there, Justin?
Number 8.
That too. We're gonna go with number number 8.
I might already be veering off course a little bit, but for me, it's actually Far From Home.
Punt.
Okay.
Which also means my number 8 is also a punt. So our number 8s are different.
Okay.
So yours was Far From Home.
Yep.
Mine is The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, it's fine because that's my number 7.
So let's talk about your first number 7 here.
Yep.
Go for it.
So,
go for 7.
I like Amazing Spider-Man marginally better than the sequel because it is more focused on the one villain.
Kurt Connors.
Right. I know you have Dennis Leary as the police sergeant or whatever he is, as sort of a good guy foil, but he's not really a villain. You only have the one villain, you have the one plan. And for the most part, I think the movie's good, not great.
Yeah, I think it's good. I like it better now after watching the second movie.
Yeah.
Because you find out that he always knew Peter was Spider-Man. Always knew.
Yeah.
So on that note, you could see, that he wants to catch Spider-Man, but he also just doesn't want his daughter to get hurt.
Right. That makes sense.
So my number 7, and I know I'm going to catch some shit with this. I know it 100%. It's Tobey Maguire's first Spider-Man.
I mean,
I liked Green Goblin better in No Way Home than I did in his actual movie.
I do too. You're not going to get an argument from me there. I think that he took a character that was okay and made it terrifying. Better. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but you were right there with terrifying.
I'm nostalgia blind, probably a little bit for that movie, because the suit is ridiculous. If you go back and watch that movie now, it's tough to take Goblin seriously.
They're all ridiculous, even Tobey's.
Yeah, I mean his suit is ridiculous. It stood out when all 3 of the Spider-Man were together as the most obnoxious of the 3. But I don't have any problem with you having the first Raimi one. I mean, we're talking about Spider-Man, movies here. Most of these are pretty damn good now. We've already gotten past the ones I don't like. So, so I'm not upset with that. I'm not upset with that. So I guess we got to go to the number 6.
Yes, sir.
My number 6 is Homecoming. So we're right there with that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're right there with Homecoming at number 6.
Yep. Again, I like borderline love Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I think that he grew into a phenomenal iteration by the end of it. But the first one was a little rough for me. Michael Keaton is really, really good as the Vulture. I don't get enough of him.
I love him.
Yeah, I would have loved
I
a couple
freaking.
more scenes with him.
So my issue with him being the Vulture is, he's the Vulture, but I feel like you still get him still trying to play Batman a little bit.
Yeah.
On more of a darker side, obviously, but I could not, and it's probably because he acted so well in both movies. Every time he would talk, I hear I'm Batman, but where he threatens Peter,
Yeah.
he puts two and two together, but he's also still the badass that doesn't tell Scorpion
Right.
that Tom Holland or Peter Parker is Spider-Man. I really love that movie for us to get it was a new good stepping stone
Yeah.
for the next generation of Spider-Man.
Right. And again, now that we had, in hindsight, we know that those three movies were all the origin, and that we thought we skipped it. I told you that. I know we thought we skipped the origin story, and it turns out this was just the very first stepping stone, and it was okay. But I don't watch it very often. I just don't put it in there. If I want Spider-Man, I usually go to a different movie. So that's why it was my number 6. And then I told you already I had Raimi at 5, Spider-Man 1 at 5. So what's your number 5?
So my number 5 is Far From Home. So let's talk about Far From Home.
Okay. So this is the only one that we really have a very stark difference in our opinions of the movie.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of this movie, at least a marginal fan of this movie. Whereas for me, I kind of forgot about it.
Spider-Man Goes to Europe.
Yeah.
And I kind of like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I really liked, he was a good foil who was an ex-employee of Tony Stark and just plays Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like plays Peter Parker like a piano, violin, whatever you want to call it, and gets him to do exactly what he wants. And I thought it was dope how he used illusions as, the crime, basically. Right. And that other world that he puts Peter in and still fucking with him as he's seeing all this other shit. I was in the theater like, yo, am I tripping?
I do always appreciate and enjoy the bad guys that are more of the mental, the Scarecrow and the Batman, that go more that route. They know that they're not a physical match for the superheroes, so they have to go a different route. I wouldn't disagree with anything you said. It bothered me that we had yet another disgruntled person pissed off at Tony Stark.
See, that didn't bother me. That didn't bother me because Tony Stark was an asshole.
And he was, and you would believe in that universe at least that he would have made enough enemies to fill out plenty of movies. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed a little bit impersonal for him and Peter. He was literally, but I guess maybe that adds to it for you. He had no really resentment to Peter other than just it was a means to an end.
A stepping stone.
Exactly. So
that's all he was.
For me, I wanted it to be more of a I want to bring you down, but I can see how on the flip side of that is it is just I used and abused you and bye-bye.
Yeah, it doesn't have to always be personal with me. As a lot of people want their villains to always be you effed with me, I'm effing with you kind of thing. It doesn't have to. Spider-Man is the good guy, and Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio is the bad guy because of the shit that happened to him in the past.
Right.
And now he wants kind of like a this is my shit now. So that's why I put it so high. I am kind of shocked yours was so low, but that's your list.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on it, even though I said you were wrong.
Hey, that's why opinions are like assholes, right?
Yes.
We all got
holy
one
shit.
And they all stink. Anyway, number 4. I'm really interested to know what your number 4 is.
Into the Spiderverse.
Me too.
All right. We were supposed to be debating off of each other, and we've only done that twice.
I'm surprised, especially because I literally watched you do the list right in front of me. So, but yeah, number 4 is Into the Spiderverse. It blew me away.
It very much so. The different animations that they did throughout the movie, the music in the movie, the characters, all the different Spider-Man. I still love Spider-Man Noir, and that is not because I'm related to the actor. It's just not. Don't you do this, Nicolas Cage?
Does not matter. No, he was great.
But
I mean, is there a better voice casting than that? I mean, fucking Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir
and then you got John Mulaney as Spider-Ham.
is beautiful. It's just a
It's
beautiful movie. Everything
and
about it's
it's
perfection.
such a heartfelt movie too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they
Peter
kill
dies.
they
Peter.
they kill our Spider-Man. It's like what the shit. Okay.
I was like, okay, and credits,
Yeah.
and then Miles goes on his journey,
yeah.
and it's a fantastic journey
Yep.
to take down Kingpin. Kingpin.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. All I do is picture the gigantic box of a character
with a little tiny head. Yeah. And again, I didn't read the comics, so this is my introduction to the character. And what an introduction.
Was a lot of people's.
What an introduction. Like, my God. I'm just, and then now the second one's come out, and that's my third.
Oh.
That's my third.
We're different there.
I thought we might be. I'll go and segue across the Spider-Verse, just beat out into the Spider-Verse, because I think they took everything that was great about the first one and enhanced it. They got a better story. You give us more Spider-Men. You give us Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099. I mean, come on.
He was a threatening
suit.
character.
That was my favorite suit in the Spider-Man game. The 20.
He was such a threatening character.
Yeah. Again.
And since we're talking about it, this was my number 2.
Okay.
This was my number 2. We'll talk about my number 3 in just a second. Okay. He was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Outside of what's the actual bad guy's name?
Polka Dot Man.
Thank you. I don't know why I missed that.
But they're setting that up for the next one, obviously, because.
And they're also setting up a Spider-Man Civil War.
Yeah.
Where the sides are split, and I don't know how Gwen, Spider-Gwen, and all of them are really going to get Miles to trust them again. I know they're going to try to save him, which can we talk about bad guy Miles? Prowler Miles.
Wow.
That threw me. That threw me off.
I mean, it's probably, it's going to take, it might even take Gwen dying to get him back on their side.
She does. She has multiple times.
Of course. I mean, doesn't that make sense? For him to kind of do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about something we don't even know. I don't know, but yeah.
Such a good movie. So many storylines in just about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah. Phenomenal movie. I can't wait to watch it again. So.
Yeah, I've honestly thought about putting it up on Discord and watching it again tonight. But my number 3 is No Way Home.
Okay. And that's my number 2.
Yeah, so we're just literally trading right here.
Yep.
And it sounds like we have the same number 1, but we'll talk about it. But No Way Home, literally, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. And you did it perfectly the other night for Andrew Garfield as the third Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, it's like Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3.
It's
so funny, so organic.
He had great character development. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire for all us nostalgic people, because even though we didn't like the third one, number 1 and 2 are really good.
Oh, they are.
It was good to see him and how his story culminated with Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe's character.
The beacon of good, his character was always so pure of heart that it made sense for him to be that emotional anchor in that moment, And
then you have Tom Holland's character who just wants everybody to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and that goes completely awry.
Right.
It's just such a good story that all that shit happens, and the thing that he wanted the most still comes true. But now everybody's forgotten Peter Parker instead of Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Right.
And it tears my heart out because a little part of me, when they're in that cafe, I thought Ned and MJ were going to kiss.
Man, I don't know that I could take that, man. That would have been tough. It was already bad enough to see, the look in their eyes when they couldn't do anything. But, yeah, that would have been rough.
I really thought they were going to do that. Just because, hey, you screwed up, and this is you're paying for it.
Are we going to get another one in that new suit? I hope so.
I am very afraid
that we're not.
of Tom Holland's Spider-Man future
Yeah.
because they're owned by Sony. Sony owns Spider-Man, and at any time they'd be like, "We're taking him back.
Yep.
No more partnership."
Yep.
At any time.
Yep.
So let's talk about our number one. Go for it, pal.
I mean, brother, it's been my favorite Spider-Man movie, one of my favorite superhero movies for most of my life. Spider-Man 2.
Yep, Doc
It,
Ock.
it introduced the best villain in the entire franchise, my favorite villain from the cartoon,
Mhm.
translated beautifully to the movies. And some of those effects, I don't know how they did it. You're talking 20 years ago. It still looks good. Some of it does, some of it doesn't. But
Yeah, it kind of aged
yeah,
poorly, being what, 18 years ago,
I don't like
19 years ago.
the close up scenes, especially the one in
Yeah,
the uh when he's getting operated on. That scene's kind of cheesy, but
yeah,
I still really love the action, and I think this movie, most of this movie for me, holds up brilliantly. And I don't normally like, the people losing their powers storyline, but this is the one that I think does it really well.
yeah. I I still to this day, it's either the Dark Knight, Batman: The Dark Knight, or Spider-Man 2. Depending on the day, one could be higher than the other, but those are the two best superhero movies ever made.
And it'll be tough.
Christopher Nolan,
It'll be tough
Sam
yeah,
Raimi.
it'll be tough to change that, especially for people our age, because
I think there's a movie that might do that, and it might be the third Into the Spider-Verse movie.
it has a chance.
It very much, because it is setting itself up. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Holy
I would
crap.
agree. Because there was after I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh, that's the best. And I almost, wanted to put it up top, but I know it's not. I still love Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 still,
It's
it's,
goaded. It's 100% goaded, and it has a lot to do because uh, Peter Parker, is dealing with his own shit.
yeah.
His own shit. He's worried about MJ, and then he has somebody who he's completely idolized start going into the deep end, and it's
Or
so
could you
good.
imagine like Tony Stark going
Yeah,
bad? Like that's the same kind of thing now. That's what it was back then. It was, oh my god, yeah, you're right. That's nuts.
somebody you've idolized. And I thought about that. Can you imagine if Tony Stark went bad,
Yeah.
or basically anybody else, or Happy, or I don't know? Go watch it. Go watch it, and you tell us. Give us your top 10 list.
Yeah, because
But
this obviously isn't right. This is just our list.
yeah, it's just our list, and apparently we got 6 or 7 out of the 10
Hey,
we matched up.
I'm impressed. I don't see that happening very often. But
No, nope. I literally did my list about 10 minutes before we hit go,
yeah, I
and
watched it
very
first,
shocked.
and we didn't talk about it because
Nope.
I assumed that it would be, especially when I said the one that I knew that was going to get a rise out of it was Far From Home. I knew that because I know I'm in the minority on that. I feel like most people in general.
I just I Far From Home. I love the story. I also love how they did everything.
Yeah,
All the monsters, and the world is going to end.
yeah.
It's so good. It's so fun. And you're like, it's down here. But I'm like, bullshit, it's up here. But you want to know another medium that Spider Man is really good in? The game. Spider Man 2018, PS4, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That game is absolutely phenomenal. I'm currently playing Miles Morales again, and it is so good. Go play it if you got a computer or a PlayStation. They're so much fun. And I think on PlayStation, they're both on sale.
That would
So
make
go
sense.
check that out. And I think it's on sale till next week. So
Yeah, phenomenal games. I actually, while I was going over my list earlier today, I was watching the cutscenes from it.
yeah, it's a good watch, even when you do that, because you still get the meat and potatoes of everything.
Yep.
But I'm happy with my top 10 list. I know you're happy with your top 10 list.
Yep.
I want to hear from you people. Do it.
Tell us we're
Comment
stupid.
sections.
Tell me I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. I need somebody to tell me I'm wrong.
All right, pal.
All
Well,
right, AJ.
can't wait to do this again.
Yep. Thank you so much for spending the evening with me. We'll have to figure out what the next topic is going to be. If you guys have something that you want us to talk about, you got two nerds here. We love comics. We love movies. We love TV. We love tech. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about, and we'll debate it. Catch you next time, everybody.